He sold rice, worked as a laborer, and even tried farming. Despite running away from home 4 times and facing constant deceit, he eventually manufactured his own car. Initially, the price and quality of his cars were so low that society mocked him and tried to make his venture fail. After repeatedly rising and falling, he became resilient, which eventually led him to establish Hyundai, the world's third-largest car manufacturing company. Chung Ju-young was born in 1915 in Tongpan, a village now in North Korea. At that time, all of Korea was under Japanese rule. He was the eldest of 7 siblings, and due to poverty, the entire family worked on farms. At the age of 14, he had to leave school and join his parents in farming. Despite working all day in the fields, they earned so little that he often went to bed hungry. This situation forced him to question whether he could spend his entire life like this. Disillusioned with his life, he ultimately ran away from home and traveled 100 kilometers to Kwon City, where he started working as a laborer in construction. Although he earned little, he was happy because he was free to spend his earnings and live independently. However, this newfound freedom lasted only 2 months, as his parents tracked him down and brought him back to the village to work on the farm again. The story begins with Chang, whose parents found him after only 2 months in the city and took him back to the village. They sent him back to work in the fields, snatching away the first happiness he had ever experienced. However, after tasting city life, Chang couldn't bear the thought of living in the village or working in the fields again. He attempted to run away twice more but was caught and brought back each time. Then, one year, the harvest failed miserably, and the entire village faced severe food shortages. Many went hungry for days. Chang decided that he couldn't endure the hardships anymore and began planning his fourth and final escape. This time, he succeeded in reaching Seoul, which is now the capital of South Korea. Determined to settle in the city, he decided to do any work that came his way. In Seoul, Chang worked tirelessly, doing construction labor, factory work, and even cleaning jobs. His dedication and hard work stood out. Eventually, he landed a job as a delivery boy at a rice shop, delivering orders on a bicycle. His efforts significantly increased the shop's sales, earning him the owner's trust. The owner, pleased with his work, promoted Chang to the position of manager. This was the first time Chang had a job that didn't involve physical labor. Under his management, the shop's sales soared. However, the shop owner fell ill and could no longer manage the business. He sold the shop to Chang at a modest price. By the age of 22, Chang, once a runaway field worker, became the owner of a rice shop. He worked diligently, and his shop became one of the best in the area. But just when everything seemed perfect, tragedy struck. On July 7, 1937, a Japanese soldier went missing near the Marco Polo Bridge. Japan sought permission from China to search for the soldier, but China refused, leading to a conflict that escalated into the Second Sino-Japanese War. The war lasted 8 years and caused severe shortages of rice in both Japan and Korea, which were under Japanese control at the time. The Japanese government seized control of all rice shops to manage the shortage, including Chang's shop. Once again, Chang was left jobless, and his 2 years of hard work and savings were wiped out. Undeterred, Chang sought a business idea that wouldn't fall under Japanese control. After brainstorming, he decided to open a car repair shop. However, he lacked funds to start the venture and took out a loan of 3,000 won. Chang opened the garage under the name Edo Service. But misfortune struck again when a fire broke out in the garage. The fire destroyed not only the garage but also the cars inside, leaving Chang responsible for the damages. Now burdened with the 3,000 won loan and customer liabilities, Chang found himself in deep trouble. Yet, he refused to give up and decided to take another loan of 3,500 won to rebuild his dream. Chang reopened the garage after taking another loan and slowly managed to cover all his losses. Once he stabilized, he focused on growing his business. Over the next 2 years, his garage flourished, employing 70 to 80 workers. With his success, he brought his entire family from the village to settle in Seoul. However, another challenge arose. At the time, World War II was underway, and Japan was heavily involved in the war. The Japanese government began taking control of workshops to produce war supplies, and Chang's garage was also seized. But this time, Chang wasn't left penniless. He had learned from his previous loss and had saved 50,000 won to start a new business. Soon after, World War II ended, and with it, Japan's rule over Korea also came to an end. Korea was now divided into North Korea and South Korea. As conditions normalized, Chang returned to Seoul in 1946 and started a new car repair business with a fresh identity and a new name, Honda Auto Service. The name Honda was derived from the Korean word meaning modern. Seoul, now a part of South Korea, was under the influence of the United States, and the American forces were stationed there. Observing the need for construction to house American troops, Chang saw an opportunity. In 1947, he started a construction company called Honda Civil Works. Initially, the company undertook small projects, such as building houses or roads, but Chang aspired to handle larger projects. However, his ambitions faced another hurdle. On June 25, 1950, North Korea, backed by the Soviet Union, invaded South Korea, starting the Korean War. Fearing danger, Chang fled Seoul and moved to Busan. Despite the upheaval, Chang did not lose hope. He saw an opportunity in the wartime chaos. The U.S. Army, which was aiding South Korea, needed tents, warehouses, and buildings. Chang revived his construction business and offered his services to the Americans, promising high-quality work if the budget allowed. The Americans, with their vast resources, started giving projects to Chang's company. Chang and his team worked tirelessly, completing every project on time. This not only established a good relationship between Chang and the Americans but also strengthened his ties with the South Korean government. After the war, numerous roads and bridges needed rebuilding, and Chang's company was awarded many of these reconstruction projects. His company grew significantly, undertaking major projects such as dams and expressways. Chang's relationship with both the South Korean government and the Americans allowed him to easily import heavy machinery from the U.S., further boosting his business. With his construction company well established, Chang decided to return to his passion for cars. In 1967, he founded Hyundai Motors Company. Soon, Hyundai partnered with Ford to assemble the Ford Cortina, a popular car at the time. However, South Korea's car market was small, with only around 30,000 cars, leaving little room for growth. To expand, Chang sought new partners and eventually launched Hyundai's own car. Initially, Hyundai's cars struggled to gain acceptance, especially in the US, where their low price and quality issues made them a target of criticism. But Chang didn't give up. Hyundai improved its technology and introduced better quality, affordable models, which gradually gained popularity worldwide. Over time, Hyundai became one of the largest car manufacturers in the world. Chang Ju-young, who began his journey as a runaway working in rice fields, built a multinational empire. Due to his declining health, Chang retired and handed over the company to his sons. He passed away in 2001, leaving behind Hyundai, one of the world's top 3 car manufacturers. Interestingly, Hyundai's logo, a stylized H, doesn't just represent the first letter of its name. It symbolizes two people shaking hands, a company representative and a satisfied customer.